Being a small channel can be rough. You have to juggle so many things you have to learn while being able to create great videos, engage with your audience, and being able to do whatever you need to do in your personal life. I've been there and I understand how hard the initial start can be for small creators, which means that I also understand that I made a lot of mistakes that, if avoided, could have made that initial start a lot easier. And that's why in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the mistakes that I and a lot of other small channels make that I wish I would have avoided when I first started. So mistake number one is that they set the wrong goals. I think we've all made the mistake of setting certain goals that involve a certain sub count or a certain amount of views per video. But in reality, having that mindset is really only going to lead to disappointment and eventually abandoning your channel before you even truly get started. Look, if you're only focusing on the raw subscriber count on your channel, it's like a basketball coach only focusing on the final score rather than the things that lead to the final score. And I made the same mistake of focusing on raw subscriber count. But how I learned to actually set the right goals is from Cal Newport's book called Deep Work. And in this book, he actually talks about lead measures and lag measures. And he puts a lot of importance on focusing on the lead measures, which are basically goals that are within our control and that we can actually make an impact towards on a day-to-day basis, versus the lag measures, which are basically just the outcomes. So using what Newport taught for the basketball coach example, the basketball coach would focus on the lead measures, which would be things like better communication, better passes overall, and creating better plays. And when you focus on those things and when you optimize those things, naturally it's going to lead to a higher score overall, which is a lag measure. And it is the exact same thing for your YouTube success. It is not just about the final subscriber count, which is a lag measure that you cannot control. It's about how many consistent high quality videos you can get up, which you can track by seeing how many videos you get up per week, and having those meaningful, authentic interactions with your audience, which you can track by keeping track of how many comments you're responding to per week, per day, however you want to do it. And it does not have to necessarily be those things, but those things are things that you can track. They're lead measures that you can keep track of on a day-to-day and a weekly basis. And when you focus on those things, overall, it's going to lead to a higher subscriber count in the end. And when you shift that focus and start focusing on achievable, controllable goals that keep the power in your hands, your channel is going to take off way faster. But overall, guys, I want you to align those goals with the overall vision that you have for your channel. So mistake number two is that they overthink from video to video. So another thing that causes a huge roadblock is overthinking way too much from video to video. And when you do that, you're gonna get caught in this constant loop of perfectionism and overanalyzing every single video that you put out. And if you've been there, you know that it's gonna stall out your creativity, and all those ideas that are in your head are not gonna come out, and all that value that you have for your audience is not gonna get put out. Imagine an amazing creative genius artist that has amazing works, does not put out any of their artwork because they are too scared of imperfection. And I really stress this because I myself used to do this. I'd spend weeks on one video trying to make it perfect. But honestly, in reality, when I look back at those videos and what I was trying to do with those videos, I really had no idea what perfection actually was. I was just still too new to YouTube. I had too many things to learn, and just no matter what I did, I was not going to reach perfection. And I mean, if you're Mr. Beast, then by all means, go ahead, spend months, years even, to get a perfect video. But chances are you are not Mr. Beast, and you are not going to make that good of a video, especially if you're just starting out. And yes, you still want to have really good quality, but do not let it paralyze you. Do not let it stop you from getting out consistent videos to your audience, because that overthinking is really just going to hinder your progress. So you need to find that perfect balance between quality and quantity for your channel. Stay true to you, do not put out garbage, and keep that momentum going. So mistake number three is that they compare instead of compete. So I think it's a bad habit that a lot of people have, of comparing instead of competing. And I think especially for small channels, because you feel like you're so far behind, because you look at these bigger channels that have been doing this for a lot longer than you, and you think that you're never going to get to that level. But doing that is really just going to discourage you and stop you from creating videos and getting to the point that they're at. Imagine you're in a race and you have to run full sprint, and you're just constantly looking back to see where everybody else is at. And I think especially right now, there is way too many creators quitting because they think that they're so far behind in the race, when in reality, they've barely even started. Instead of being jealous or being envious of these other people in your niche that are succeeding, I want you to be genuinely happy for them and use their success to draw inspiration, so that overall it does not hinder your overall growth. But do not let looking at other people in your niche and looking at all of their achievements outweigh looking at your own audience's desires and needs and leaning into your own unique content. Because trust me, every single channel and every single person in life has their own unique journey. And if you're constantly looking at other people's journeys, you're going to deter yourself from your own. Do not constantly compare. Compete with your own previous self and your own previous videos and constantly improve on that. And like I told you, just stay focused on your goals, and eventually you're going to find your own place in the YouTube community. And when you understand these things, you're setting the right goals, you're avoiding overthinking, and you're only competing with yourself, you're going to be well on your way to being a successful YouTube channel. But if you want to continue to have success on YouTube, you need to keep up with the latest changes that YouTube is making and how to make the most of them. So if you want to know how to do that, then go ahead and click on this video right here.